Hello everyone. I am Alice of KHR Arts and Cloud Orchid Publishing, and today I want to talk to y'all about my trip to Los Angeles, California for Thanksgiving weekend. So the reason why our new tradition in our family for the past few years, where we go to California for Thanksgiving, is because my younger brother, Alec Masterson, aka Nightshot333 on Twitch, lives out in LA. He has lived out there since his last year of college, and he works in the film industry, specifically making commercials and trailers for major movies and corporations and things, and he is so incredibly talented at it. And so it is our new tradition that we spend Thanksgiving out there with him so that it's easier on his schedule, because as everyone knows, the entertainment industry is very competitive and very demanding. His schedule is the most difficult to deal with, and it's just easier for us to go out and visit him, as well as we get to escape the cold for a bit and hang out in California, which is a ton of fun. And a big part of my personal fun for these trips is I love putting together really fun outfits for each day of the trip and really going all out with my makeup, just doing all of that extra fun styling that I don't do on a daily basis is all part of the fun for me, and this trip was no exception. I put together some really cute looks. You probably recognize some of these from my Instagram as well as from my most recent convention, WindyCon. I did reuse a few outfits, but a big part of that is because I do go through cycles where there will be certain outfits or there will be certain garments or accessories or wigs or whatever that I just really fall in love with for a period of time. And that's like all I want to wear. So of course there were a couple of outfits that are in that rotation for me where I'm just all about those outfits right now. One of them being the absolutely adorable pink gingerbread house sweater and the pink plaid skirt. I just am all about that outfit right now. I just think it's so cute. I am just loving everything gingerbread for the Christmas season right now. So that's kind of my jam at the moment. But I was also really excited about a couple of new outfits that I also wore. One of them was this really cute pink tulle, like kind of over jacket, I guess you could call it. I don't really know what you would call it. It's not quite a bolero, but it's so grand. It adds so much volume and drama to my outfit. And also my rainbow tulle skirt came just in time before I left, so it just went together perfectly and was just such a cute outfit. And then I also got a brand new split pink and black outfit, and of course I had to get a matching split pink and black wig to go with it. And I specifically wore that one when my brother and I went to Little Tokyo, and I don't know, I just love exploring, styling myself with different looks and holidays like Thanksgiving, and I also like doing it for Christmas and also for my birthday and conventions. I love an excuse to dress up and just have fun with myself. Squishy agrees. And color on my face and just all of that. Over the years, my parents have gotten used to this. My brother has gotten used to this, and I'm really grateful for that. It was a bit of a struggle in the past where some people do make the mistake of that they think that I'm doing it for attention. And the truth of the matter is that while yes, of course I am very appreciative if people come up to me and tell me that they really love my outfit or my makeup or whatever, but I first and foremost do it for me. If I go an entire day wearing a really rad outfit with really awesome makeup, and if nobody approaches me and nobody tells me that I look great or anything like that, I don't care. Like, I'm still having the best day. I'm still having an awesome day, wearing an awesome outfit, and it's still an awesome day for me because I'm having a fun time wearing a fun outfit and doing a fun makeup look that I really wanted to do. And it's always been first and foremost for me. That is my goal with it, is that I am having fun putting together a really cute look and having fun wearing it and just feeling pretty and fun for the day. And that was really the turning point for my parents and my little brother when they realized that that was the case, that I wasn't doing it to try to attract attention or anything like that, that it's just a thing that I enjoy doing for me, that was when it wasn't really an issue for us anymore. It is still a bit of a challenge with packing for trips like this, because that means that I do have to bring a larger suitcase and I do have to pack more things than my parents or my brother do for a trip. That's just kind of part of the process. I am grateful that they are more accepting of that, and not only that, I am so grateful that I have an accepting and loving family to spend Thanksgiving with, because I know there are so many people out there where that's not the case. And in fact, I actually personally know people, that I have friends where that's not the case. And I'm so grateful that I do have friends who do Friendsgiving, so that people who don't have a family to go to for Thanksgiving, they're still able to enjoy the holiday and spend it with people who understand them and care about them. And I was actually really honored this year. This is the first time that I've been a part of a LARP group, doing LARPing with my partner Neil, and that whole group of people that are now my friends, is they actually invited me to their Friendsgiving. And I was just so honored because, first of all, I had never been invited to a Friendsgiving before. And a big part of that is because my friends in the past were just aware that I do have a family that I get to go home to and spend Thanksgiving with, so I'm pretty sure that's a big part of why I had never been invited before. But it just meant a lot to me that I was invited to a Friendsgiving, because I feel like, since that's, the family that you choose in the people that you invite to a Friendsgiving, that they really enjoy my company and enjoy me and trust me and care about me enough that they would want to extend that invitation to me. So that really meant a lot. But I'm just so grateful that I have a really awesome family where I get to spend the holiday with them and we have a fun time doing it. And of course, because we are on semi-vacation with this kind of trip, getting on a plane and flying to somewhere else and staying there for basically half a week, stress does happen and little arguments do happen here and there. So it's not like completely perfect or anything, but the fact that there are none of those big blow up fight sort of things, that there isn't the whole awkward politics arguments at the table, big disagreements, people not understanding, people not respecting you, stuff like that. That's not a thing that we experience with our Thanksgiving. I am very lucky that that is the case. Are you just mad at this closed door? Yeah. Just really mad about it. In the past, we usually get in on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, and we usually get in earlier in the day so that we're able to meet my brother at his work and we're able to grab some dinner and all that kind of stuff. But this time around, due to plane ticket costs and scheduling and things like that, we ended up having to actually leave later at night on Wednesday, and we didn't get in until really late at night on Wednesday. So our first real day together was actually on Thanksgiving Day on Thursday. So that was a little bit of a change of pace, but I don't feel like it really impacted our trip overall. I feel like it was much more relaxed in that we didn't do any sort of running around. We just kind of went straight to my brother's apartment and went to bed, and then we woke up and it was Thanksgiving. But a big part of what also made that possible was my brother was a real champ, and he went out to all the different grocery stores the week before, and my parents gave him a list, and he bought all of the things that we needed in order to make Thanksgiving dinner, so we didn't have to go out to the grocery store. It was already there in his apartment. So that was really amazing that he put in all of that work in order to make this happen. And yes, originally when we first started doing these trips to California for Thanksgiving, we did stay in a hotel, but not just the cost, but also ease. We found that it was just easier staying in my brother's apartment rather than staying in a hotel nearby, because LA, as many of you can imagine, has terrible traffic, and the amount of time that we would waste driving to and from the hotel each morning and night was just such a pain. And we found that it's just easier to stay at his apartment so that we can just go to bed when we're ready rather than having to get in the car and drive all the way back to the hotel and schlep our way up to the hotel room and just all of that. But that does come with its own challenges in that he only has one bedroom and only has one bathroom, so it's sleeping on the couches, it's having to plan out when you're going to take a shower and being mindful of everybody there and all that. So that's a big part of why also I was doing my makeup at the kitchen table, because that was really the only space to do it. And also the entire point of the holiday, for us anyway, is to be close as a family, and it doesn't get much closer than staying at your brother's apartment and sleeping on his couch. I'm just really lucky, and I'm really grateful that I have a really awesome family who is supportive and does their best to understand me. And even if there are things about me that they can't really understand, at the very least they respect me. And that just means the absolute world to me. So I guess you can say that's what I'm grateful for. Thanksgiving this year is to have all of that in my life. The actual day of Thanksgiving was rather uneventful in that we didn't go anywhere. We stayed in the apartment the whole time, which is another part of what I was explaining with that the outfits that I do are for me, is that other than my parents and my brother, nobody saw the outfit that I wore on Thanksgiving. I mean, yes, I did share it on social media, but we didn't go outside. There weren't people out and about that saw my outfit or anything like that. It was purely just for me. And also, even though some of the outfits might not appear to be, they are all actually very comfy. All of the outfits that I wore for this trip were also very comfy. And comfort is a big thing that I prioritize in the outfits that I put together, especially now with my growing disability, and also the pandemic really just made me reevaluate a lot of things in my life, and I just prioritize comfort a lot more than I used to. So that was also part of the process in picking out the outfits that I did, is I wanted to make sure that they were outfits that were very comfortable for me to just kind of hang out with everyone in, and that they were comfortable for walking out and about and all of that. So all of the outfits were actually really comfy. And for the actual Thanksgiving meal, a cool tradition that we have is that instead of having a turkey, we each have our own individual Cornish hens. And this has been a tradition in my family literally ever since I can remember. There are pictures of me being like 3 years old, 4 years old at the table on Thanksgiving with my own little Cornish hen on my plate. And I just love that we have that tradition because, to be honest, I'm not a fan of turkey. I'll eat it, but I don't really care for it. And also having like your own little Cornish hen to yourself just feels so much more fun and delicious than just having one giant turkey. And it's also so much fun just kind of ripping it apart and just diving in. It's very primal. And of course we also love to do the wishbones and all of that. So it's a really nice tradition that we have. And we also have some of the traditional sides, but we also have some not traditional sides. And over the years, what we eat on Thanksgiving kind of has evolved just with what everyone enjoys eating. Because since it's just the four of us, we prioritize more so what do we actually enjoy eating rather than worrying about what is quote-unquote traditional Thanksgiving food. The fact that none of us really like eating cranberries. And of course, there was a lot of wine. We had a lot of wine. That was really fun. It was really delicious. I had a blast. Really fun to just sit around and eat good food with your family and just talk about whatever. And it was just so good to see my brother and be able to catch up with him, hear all about what he's been up to with all of the music festivals he's been going to, with his job, just all of that. It was just such a treat to have that really nice day to just kind of hang out together. That's pretty much all we did, is we just hung out and ate food, and then we went to bed, and that was kind of all of day one. Day two was where we had our first adventure of the trip, and that ended up leading to another adventure on the trip. But the first adventure that we had was going to a restaurant called Duke's, which is a Hawaiian restaurant. And I had never been to Duke's before, but my parents and my little brother had all gone to Duke's several times together without me. And so we made it our mission that I needed to be a part of this, and I needed to be able to go to Duke's too. And specifically at Duke's, they have this really delicious drink called the lava flow. It's kind of like a mix between a pina colada and a strawberry daiquiri, and let me tell y'all, it is delicious. Amazing. So that was the big adventure that we had Duke's for dinner, and it was so good. Both me and my mom ended up getting the hot pot, and it was enormous. It was so much food. I think I only ate like half of it just because it was just so much food, and it was so delicious. So good. We also had a couple of appetizers, so I'm sure that made it more difficult for me to be able to finish the meal, but everything was so delicious that it was to the point where I just wanted to keep eating even though I was so full. And I think I had like 3 lava flows. They were just, so top-notch, just so absolutely delicious. And I also really liked that at the end of the meal, when our bill came, there was also a brochure where you could follow the QR code to be able to donate to the fires in Maui. And so that was a thing that we did because the disaster relief is still going on. They still need donations. They're still rebuilding. There's still so many families and small businesses that were devastated by those fires. So it just felt really good to be able to do a small drop in the bucket of help for that big effort. I will put a link in the description below if y'all want to donate to that. Please feel free. And I don't really know how we got on the subject of it, but my mom was talking about that she found this really cute cotton candy place on Instagram that happened to be in the same area, Huntington Beach, that Duke's was in. And funny enough, this cotton candy place I had actually also seen on my own Instagram. And what's so particular about this cotton candy place, it is called the Polar Playground, and they specialize in making cotton candy art. So what they do is they actually take the cotton candy and make it into like sculpture art, and they do it in all different kinds of like characters and animals and stuff. And we were like, oh my god, this is so cool, we have to go. And so after dinner, we raced over to the Polar Playground, and we made it there an hour before closing. And there was a massive line outside, and we're like, oh no, we might not get in. And we waited and waited and waited. And then it came time they were going to close, where it was their closing hour. And one of the employees actually came out and put a sign behind the last family that was in line. And they ended up taking everyone that was in line, even after they closed. It was absolutely incredible. They were so gracious. They were so nice. So we waited in line, I'm not even kidding y'all, for 2 hours. And we got to go in and we got to get some really cool cotton candy art. I ended up getting Kirby, and my brother ended up getting Snorlax. My dad got an owl, and my mom got Eeyore. And it was just such a cool experience. They basically set it up where it's like an entire experience. You go to the counter and you tell them what characters you want. They have a little board with all the different characters that you can choose from. And then it's kind of like Starbucks, where they ask you your name, and then when they're ready for you, they call your name so that you can actually go up to the glass and you can watch them make your cotton candy characters. So they let it be like a whole experience for you. It's not just, oh, they just make it and they just give it to you like whenever. Like, it's a whole experience. So I was able to film all of it because we were able to wait for our names to be called. They waited for us to be ready to watch the show. It was such a great experience. And the employees are so talented. It was just amazing to watch the process and see how they work together, and just seeing how all the different components come together to make these characters was just so wild. It was so much fun. Although, a bit of advice for anybody that is looking to go and experience this, something that we learned the hard way, and it was hilarious. We were laughing so hard for the rest of the night. And to be fair, the staff tried to ignore us, and we were being those people where we were like, yeah, no, it's fine. And it was not fine. We didn't realize that the air inside of the cotton candy place is different. Like, it is not just temperature controlled, but I think it's something to do with the way they have the humidity in the store, or I don't know what. But you could just tell the air had a bit of a different quality to it. And we discovered the reason for that is to keep the cotton candy from melting. So when you're actually in the Polar Playground and you're holding the cotton candy characters, they're all fluffy and it's so cute and fun, and you're taking pictures with them. Like, they even have a whole like Instagram area set up where you can like take pictures with the characters. Like, it's absolutely amazing. But the second you go outside, they start melting and they get all sticky. Because, I mean, it's California. It's hot out there. Of course they're going to melt. Even in November, it's hot in California. And they had warned us they had a whole station where you could put a plastic bag over your cotton candy. And we're like, no, it's okay. We're just, we're going to go out in the parking lot and eat them. And that was the other thing, is because of the nature of the whole experience, after you like take your pictures and you have your cotton candy and all that, you have to leave. You can't just like hang out and eat your cotton candy in the store, because you have to get out of the way so that other people can have the same experience. And that's part of why it took so long waiting in line, is because they can only have so many people in the store at a time. And then they do it in groups like that, where, hey, this group is there getting their cotton candy characters and taking the pictures and stuff, and you have to wait. They make it so that you have to wait for them to be done and all that. And then once you're done, you have to leave. So we were just going to eat our cotton candy in the parking lot. We're like, we're not taking it back with us to my brother's apartment. We're just going to eat it. We don't need bags. It'll be fine. It was so not fine, y'all. Oh my goodness. When we got to the car, that was when we realized, oh no, it's melting. And it was hysterical, y'all. Oh my god. All of a sudden, my brother and my mom started realizing that the cotton candy was actually melting like onto their hands. And both of them, their cotton candy characters were blue. So their hands were blue. And I realized that it was starting to get sticky because I actually somehow got into the car with mine without getting it all over myself or the car. And then when I went to take a bite of it, it just like stuck to my face. And we were all like, oh no. And thankfully we had taken the bags with us, where we were like, oh, we'll just take the bags in case we don't finish it. And mind you, also, we did not realize the characters are huge. Like, it is a huge amount of cotton candy, y'all. Like, you can't even imagine. Just, it's so much cotton candy. It is just so much. Like, just no one should eat that much cotton candy in one sitting. Oh my god, it was so much cotton candy. And that was when we all started both panicking and laughing at the same time. And I have video of it, but I'm not posting it here. That's private video for us to laugh at, but it's all of us freaking out and trying to eat the cotton candy as fast as we can as it's melting. And oh my god, it was just the funniest thing ever. So absolutely, please be prepared if you go to Polar Playground, or if there are any other cotton candy places like this. It will melt. The second that you go outside, it will melt. So be prepared for that, because it will get all over everything, and it's just so much cotton candy, and it's so much stickier than you think it is. But we had a blast, and it's such a great memory that we have now. And we talked about it for the entire rest of the trip, just how crazy and fun it was, just like hanging out and then being able to experience it, and then just laughing so hard at the disaster we had created for ourselves and just all of that. So yeah, I'm so grateful that at the spur of the moment we decided to do such a crazy thing, like go to this Instagrammable cotton candy place, and just had the time of our lives. On the third day, which was Saturday, it's tradition that one of the days we pick where my brother and I are able to have the whole day together, just the two of us, and we go to Little Tokyo. And part of that is because I typically only get to see my brother for Thanksgiving and Christmas because I can't afford to go and fly out there by myself to just visit him, whereas my parents can afford to do that, as well as I can't always just take time off to do something like that. Things are a little different now that I have the job that I have, and we actually talked about that too, that in the future I'll be able to visit him more, which makes me really happy because I actually really love spending time with my brother. He is such a cool person and we're really close, so our little Tokyo adventure day is always very near and dear for us for the whole Thanksgiving experience. And what that day includes is us just kind of walking around Little Tokyo, going to all the different stores, looking at all the different stuff. We love looking at the clothes and all the cool manga and the anime figurines, and there's a video game resale shop and just all of the cool stuff that place has to offer. We just love looking at all of it, and we're just like talking and hanging out while we're walking around and shopping and looking at things. And then of course we have to close out the night with sushi. And we've been to several different sushi places in Little Tokyo, as well as we've been to a couple of sushi places that are just in LA in general. And the one that the past couple years that we've really fallen in love with is the Rotary Sushi restaurant, Kura, Kura, in Little Tokyo. And it is just so much fun because, first of all, I love sushi. Love sushi. But I love conveyor belt sushi even more than just regular sushi. It's just such a fun, cute experience seeing the sushi come to you on the little belt and picking stuff out. It's so much fun, and we had an absolute blast together. We ate 26 plates between the two of us. So much food. We were so full and it was so delicious and we had so much fun. And it was just so great to be able to talk, just the two of us. And of course, like any siblings, there's stuff that we talk about that we don't share with our parents, that we don't share with anybody else, things like that. And so it's just really nice to have that kind of special companionship with your sibling, share a lot with them, and then just also just sharing in general, talking about my job and his job, and talking about the music festivals that he's been going to. And I talked about my LARP experiences. And just all of that. It's just so much fun to be able to have a sibling that does that with you, that enjoys spending time with you. And it's been that way for a very long time. We've been close since forever, practically. We've been through thick and thin with each other. We're able to trust each other with so much stuff, and it's so awesome. I'm just so grateful to have that kind of relationship with him because, again, I know that there are plenty of siblings that don't get along at all for various reasons, and so I'm just grateful that I have such an awesome younger brother who is there for me in so many ways, and also the fact that we can just have an absolute blast hanging out with each other for an entire day. And I just love that he's really just been diving into life the past couple years. He's been attending so many different music festivals and concerts. Music is a big thing in his life. He absolutely loves music, specifically electronica. There's just so many different artists and bands that he loves seeing live. And I just love that he's making that a priority in his life right now, and he's just really enjoying life. And that's part of what we talked about, is that especially with the retirement age being raised, that it's, you have to wait even longer now to be able to retire, and the fact that so many people oftentimes have to sacrifice so much just in the name of being an adult and living your life and stuff. And so the fact that right now he has the capability to do so many fun things financially and physically and time-wise and all that, the fact that he's able to do all these cool concerts and music festivals and things, like, I'm just so glad that he's taking life by the horns and going for it, because it's not like he would necessarily be able to do that when he's at retirement age, because he might not have the physical capability to do that. It might not be very fun for him by that time. All of those factors. And I'm just so glad that he has courage and the motivation and the wherewithal to be able to do that, because that's a lot of what I did in my 20s and my early 30s, is that I did the same thing, where I knew that there were going to be things that you have to do now that you're not going to be able to do later in life. Just all the stuff I did with my modeling and then doing with drag performing and just honestly just going wild and going to parties and having fun. I knew that was the time to do that and did it with my whole heart, jumped both feet in. And I feel like if you have the capability to do that, it's so important to do that because you might not get that chance later in life to do it, or you might not be able to do it in the way that you want to do it. So absolutely, I'm just so glad to hear that he is just really enjoying life. He's doing so well. Things are going really well with his job. Just overall, all of his success just brings me so much joy. One of the things that I did for myself recently that has also made my, I wouldn't say daily life, but my life in general a lot easier. For the fourth day, which was Sunday, my mom really wanted to go to the observatory, and part of the tradition of our Thanksgiving trip is we also always do our Christmas card photo. And so we decided that the observatory would be a really great backdrop for our Christmas photo. What we didn't realize was that it was an adventure to get there. We drove up to the observatory and it's beautiful, y'all. It is so beautiful, but we didn't realize that it's actually a literal hike to get up to the observatory. And we actually got really lucky where the first time that we drove up, we had to drive all around and then drive up again because there was nowhere to park. And we got so lucky when we drove back the second time that there was a family just leaving. And we were able to get an off-the-road parking spot that was really, really close to the actual parking lot. And the reason why this is important is because the observatory is literally on the top of a mountain. It is literally on the top of a mountain, which means you have to hike up the mountain to get to the observatory. And the further away that we would have had to park would have meant the further we would have had to hike up there. And when I say hike, I mean like actually hike. Like it's not a sidewalk. There's like no off to the side in the road. It's all parked cars and driving cars like you would get run over. It's all like dirt path and rocks and sticks and stuff. And I was wearing my pink Demonia platform shoes, so I was not prepared for having to go on a hike. And my family was very gracious and understanding and wonderful because I also have hip dysplasia, which means that doing something like a hike is very challenging. And then you put me in platform shoes and it's dangerous, to be perfectly honest. So they all walked behind me and I just kind of set the pace for us hiking up this mountain. And I went kind of slow because I just wanted to make sure that I didn't trip and that I didn't hurt myself and all that. And we plodded our way up this mountain. And we got there and the view was extraordinary. It was just so beautiful. It just opened up where you could see the whole valley. And bonus, we could see the Hollywood sign. And we didn't even know that that was part of the deal, that we were going to be able to also take pictures with the Hollywood sign in the background. So that was just a fun little extra for us. And they also had an Instagram spot there where they had these like angel wing structure and you could like take pictures in front of it and it looked really cool. We didn't take pictures with the angel wings just because it was very crowded. There were a lot of other people doing it, but also we just didn't want to. But we did take pictures where we had the Hollywood sign in the background and that was really cool. And then we took the pictures of us actually in front of the observatory for the Christmas card. And that was largely due to my brother having professional equipment with having an actual camera and having a tripod and all that. So we were able to get some really nice pictures for the card. And on top of it, we went at golden hour. So for those of y'all that don't know, golden hour is the hour when it is sunrise, and it is also the hour when it is sunset. And the reason why it's called that is because it's the time of day when the light literally turns gold. So it has that really warm, beautiful look to photos. So we purposely wanted to make sure that we went with the timing to get that really nice lighting. And with all of the parking and the hiking and all of that, we were very lucky that we got there within enough time to be able to take photos during golden hour. So that was really cool and really magical. And of course, we took so many more photos just all around the observatory because, you know, we were already there and we all brought our cameras and our phones and our things and all the things. And there were some particular pictures that Al wanted to get. There were some particular pictures I wanted to get, and we got all the pictures we were wanting, and it was just such a fun, cool experience. We had a great time. My mom got some really cool pictures of the observatory. They're absolutely gorgeous. My mom is actually really good at photography. I just love how much joy that brings her and just the beautiful pictures that she takes and the eye that she has for taking pictures of buildings and flowers and things. It's so awesome. And she also took some really cool pictures of me at the observatory that I posted on Instagram. So we just had an absolute blast together there. And of course, then going back was a challenge because we had to hike all the way back down the mountain. Then we had to do it in the dark. So again, I kind of set the pace with walking slowly, and we all had our phones out with the flashlights on so that we could see where we were going. And it was slow going, but thankfully, because we got the parking spot we did, it didn't take too long to hike down and get to the car, but we were absolutely exhausted. And we were just so grateful to get back to the car and be able to relax for a bit because we didn't realize that it was going to be so labor intensive to do. And the funniest part is we also didn't realize it was going to take as much time as it was going to because we had dinner reservations at a restaurant that we also go to every time that we visit for Thanksgiving called Smokehouse. And this particular restaurant is really cool because it's one of the spots where the old Hollywood stars used to go to. So it has a lot of that old Hollywood charm. It's a very old landmark building. It's so cool. The food is so delicious. And we had so much fun just hanging out and talking and enjoying some good food. And what's also cute is that they do that whole experience where they have a photographer come over and like take pictures of you at the table. And we do participate in that where we do take the pictures at our table like that, and they print them on demand there so that you can take them home with you by the time that you're done eating. And it's a nice little souvenir that we can take with us each year, having a picture together like that. And this year I opted for also getting a picture of just me and my brother together because I realized that I don't really have any actual physical pictures, and so it was nice to be able to have a physical picture that I can hang up of me and my brother hanging out. And that is definitely something that I want to do in the near future, is get some physical prints of different pictures of people and things that are important to me that I can hang up and things like that, because I think it's good to have physical pictures in your home to be able to look at of, you know, people and things and whatever that you care about. I do think that that is part of what makes a house into a home. And a big part of that is because with the job that I have now, this is the first time in, oh my goodness, I would say over half a decade that I have even been able to think in the terms of having my own home, that is going to be something that's going to become a reality for me, that I am actively now working toward paying off my debt and saving up to have a real home, whether that's a condo or a townhouse or an actual house, whichever of those it works out best to be, but a place that is actually mine. And I am so looking forward to that. And so in order to help make that more tangible for me, I've also been doing things like getting real print pictures of things to prepare for having that home. And it's just so cool to be able to start planning for that and start thinking of things like, you know, what do I want to have in my home? Because up until now, I've always been thinking in very temporary terms of renting an apartment and having things that are easily modular and easy to move, or relatively easy to move anyway, going from like place to place, going to different apartments over the course of so many years and things like that. The fact that I can now start to think in terms of permanence is a really radical new concept for me, and I'm just so excited for it. So to have that picture of me and my brother, it means so much that it's us having so much fun together at Thanksgiving as siblings and all of that in our relationship, but also it symbolizes that permanence that is coming in my life that I'm going to be able to have a home to hang up that picture in. And then Monday was our last day. We were going to fly back home Sunday night, but it was cheaper to fly back Monday night, so we decided to take that extra day, which was nice that we got a little extra time. And Monday, of course, was the sad day where we packed everything up and went to the airport and flew home and all that. And it's always deflating to do that part of the trip when you realize that all the fun is over and you have to go and say goodbye and all that. But thankfully, it's only saying goodbye for a little bit because my brother will be coming out here to Chicago to spend Christmas with us. So it'll be great to see him again in less than a month. We're all really looking forward to that. But of course, the whole shebang of having to drive all the way to the rental car place and then take the shuttle to the airport and do all the airport stuff and then fly on the plane and all of that is just so stressful and so exhausting. And in addition to just not having the finances to really be able to travel that much these past few years and stuff like that, it's also travel is a very stressful event for me because I am captain control freak and I do not like that flying involves me giving up basically all of my control, that it's you have to go through all these different security measures and have people potentially like tell you that you can't bring your bag on the plane or tell you that you're not allowed to have this or not allowed to have that and all that kind of stuff. And then the fact that you have to like let strangers handle your luggage and it might get lost or damaged, that you just have to roll the dice with that. And then you have to get on a plane. And my biggest thing is that what surprises people, the whole concept of being so high up in the air, like that's not even on my radar for what my brain even can comprehend or care about. It's that I can't leave. It's if I'm on a road trip, I can just stop the car and pull over at a rest stop if I have to and like take a minute. With the plane, you don't get to pull over. You can't just be like, oh, I need a minute. I need to get off the plane. And there were a few times when we were on the plane where I really wanted to pull over the plane and I wanted to get off the plane for a minute. And that's not an option. And that's more of what gets my anxiety up, is that it's like, okay, you are now trapped in a metal tube, trapped in a chair with all these other people around you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, I hate all of that. So I'm always just so excited and grateful when I'm finally back home and I'm like, oh, good, I don't have to do that again for however much time I don't have to do that again. But I was so grateful to, of course, make it back home safely and be home again, because let me tell y'all, there's nothing like sleeping in your own bed. And of course, I was so happy to see Squishy again because I love him so much. He is my little buddy. He is my child. And of course, he was very dramatic and was like, Mother, you abandoned me. I am very upset and sad. And then, of course, he got over it like 15 minutes later, and then he was fine, and he was like, Mother, pet me and give me all the love. And he was just following me around and yelling at me and demanding pets and all that. So it was just so great to be back home, be back with my baby, and get back to business as usual, get back to life and all that. And I just love that I get to have all of these fantastic experiences and memories with my family, and there'll be more experiences and memories for next year. And the fact that we don't even have to wait for next year, that we get to do all of this nonsense again for Christmas. We get to do crazy stuff for Christmas. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I want to thank y'all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please be sure to give it a like. And if you're new, subscribe. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
There you is. Hi, baby. I missed you.